I just want to prove to myself, prove to my coaches that not only I can jump, but I can also run on a high stage level. He can jump. His name Hawk for a reason.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into yet another episode of the Fitz Take Podcast. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, but you can always call me Fitz. That man in boxes with me is Mr. Elijah Nixon, aka E Money. Guys, wherever you are listening to this at, if this is a listening platform, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, please give us a follow here. If this is your first time watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate that. If you've been a part of the journey, we greatly appreciate y'all as well. We're almost at 1,500 subscribers right now. And, we are just trying to continue to build this thing, man. Getting as many athletes, telling as many stories as possible here on our platform, and trying to make this a place where all the sports that you can think of, that we're trying to get the bases covered on that. Also, be sure to follow myself, Elijah, and my production company, ONEWAY Productions, on our social media platforms that are linked down in the description of this video. And like I said, we try to dabble in all different types of sports, and so we are having a first today on the show. He is a 2025 NCAA Indoor First Team All-American in the 4x4. He was a 2024 SEC Indoor runner-up in the high jump, a two-time state and district champ who still holds his high school's record in the high jump, in the long jump, in the 4x1, and the 4x2 at Tioga High School. A five-time field MVP, indoor and outdoor state champion. He was a multi-sport athlete playing both football and basketball, and he was once ranked as the number 3 athlete in the nation. That's some big accolades. And we're talking about none other than Mr. Sherman Hawkins Jr. They call him Hawk. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
It's all good, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for the opportunity.
For sure, man. For sure.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah. I know y'all got a little bit of a connection, man. Elijah getting a chance to cover you back in high school. I guess let's go back to that. When you were at Tioga, how were things there for you? And when did you kind of realize that you had an opportunity to be one of the ones when it comes to, high jumping and running and things like that?
So, okay, the crazy thing is I didn't start doing track for real until my sophomore year of high school. I always played football growing up as a kid. So, once I got in high school, I tried doing track. I tried running first, and I wasn't really messing with it. Then I'll say sophomore year, that's when COVID happened. We lost our season, and I didn't really get to jump because my freshman year I only jumped 6'4", 6'2". Then we get to my junior year. That's when I started liking it a little bit more because I was ranked, at the time I was ranked number 1 in Louisiana. Then it started I started understanding it. And our school record was 6'8" by a basketball player. He's a pro right now. His name Aaron Epps. He tall. So boom, I seen that. Then I jumped 6'10" at the home meet, then 6'10" at regionals. Then we went to LSU. I didn't jump. I jumped 6'4", 6'6". But from my sophomore year to my senior year, I started liking it more. Then I started getting offers. My beginning of my senior year, I had got an offer from Penn State, Jackson State, and Kansas City Jayhawks. And from there on, I just went up.
But before you even enter that, I want to talk about the football and basketball aspect. You was cold in those sports too. Just talk to me about that. Was that always one of your options before this track started? Was it always basketball, football, where you thought you was going to make it at?
It was always football. Basketball didn't start till my last year of junior high. Football, I thought I was gonna make it. Well, I did make it, but I didn't get the offer I wanted because as a kid, they don't tell you have to put your name out there. You got to email coaches. You got to post this type of film. Nobody knows about you. So once I stopped, I don't want to bash anybody, but my high school head coach, he wasn't the best head coach because he didn't take us to camps where scouts were, and the way he coached and was he was a hypocrite. So that really made me stop liking football. I'm not gonna lie. If I had to deal with all that, but I had got all district as a defensive back. That's the hardest. I feel like that's the hardest thing to get recruited to a college is a defensive back.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
nobody would throw the ball my way. Like, I'm 6'3", I'm 180. Nobody's finna throw the ball my way. They're gonna throw it the opposite way. So I couldn't get no stats for real. So then basketball. All right, basketball kind of funny. So in junior high, my 8th grade year, I was room grazing. Ninth grade, room grazing. Sophomore year, that's when I started really dunking. I was catching alleys. I was like top small forward in Louisiana for a little bit from all my alleys and stuff. But I didn't really like basketball. The only reason I played basketball was because my mama, she was finna get recruited to like a D1 college scholarship. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. She was finna get recruited to a D1 college, but like something happened with the coaches and like they backdoored her. So I played that for her enjoyment and like, I like jumping. So every time I got a chance to dunk, I took it. But nah, football, it's still a love-hate relationship with that.
This man here, bro. And I know you talking about. That's funny, but how like I hear how you talk about how it's a love hate relationship with football, basketball. You kind of just did that along the way. Like, where did you realize that you had a passion for track and field? Like, when did you know, like, not only is this cool and I'm good at it, but like I actually enjoy doing this?
My senior year, because that was the only thing I had like big D1 offers in. And like I didn't like really think about going to college out of high school if I wasn't going for football because like I had welding classes. I got my welding certificate and a degree. So I was like I'll just go to trade school and go on that route. But then my Coach Chrisman, he was like, you might as well go to college just free. Like you got a D1 offer 100%. Like go and take it. You never know how far it'll go. So that's what made me like actually start liking it.
No, that's real. Shout out Coach Crispin, man. He was out there while I was there in Alexandria, and I want to say he has is it two sons that played ball too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. Yeah, yeah. So shout out to him, man. And he always kept that program in top shape. Like, let me ask you this: when it comes to like getting recruited for track and field, like what does that process kind of look like? We know what the football lane is of, you got the NIL space, you got the recruiting visits, kind of the same thing with basketball. How does that look for a track athlete?
So track and field recruiting is big on like consistency. Like, let's see, 6'10" to 7 foot. That is the typical recruitment level for a high jumper as a senior. So they want to see you jump 6'10", 7 foot more than one time. So if you're consistent with it, that means 6'10" to 7 foot. That's like the bare minimum of scoring in like a SEC conference. So like if you're doing 6'8", it's like you'll get probably like a 70% scholarship. But 7 foot out of high school, that's like elite. So they'll look for that. They'll look for your character, like your work ethic, and like really if you're coachable. Because track is very a mental sport. They don't want nobody that don't want to listen. They don't want to take care of their business on and off the field. Like you got to be locked in. So you got to be like track is a very humbling sport too. So when I say mentally, you got to be able to like take L's. Like L's as lessons. You probably ain't do good this day. It's okay because you still got a whole week. Like you're not gonna be at your best every day at practice. That's like how mental it is. So yeah, it's just consistency, honestly.
Now, a lot of people don't know, but you're at Mississippi State now, but you committed to Jackson State. You had Penn State, you had Kansas. We talked about Jackson State and what it meant to you, but before we get to that path, why did you choose Jackson State out of Penn State and Kansas?
Okay, so the reason I chose Jackson State out of high school, I never been to a HBCU, and as you know, Tioga, it's like a PWI. It's not really a lot of black people there. So I just wanted to feel like that connection with my folks and try to give back to the community. And I wanted to make a name for myself before I went to like a bigger division where it's like you got straight stars on the team. So I just wanted to put myself through like that. I wouldn't say struggle, but that path to see if I was gonna survive enough. Like see if I had that much of a dog in me.
Jackson State. You was there when Travis Hunter was there. You was there when Shador was there. You was there when Dion was there. I know you said you hated football. Did you have a chance to come on? We talked about this. Did you have a chance to be on that squad with them?
Hey, look. So crazy thing is, listen. Okay, after the season, I was walking on the team, and like it was a new DB coach. It's like when he was like leaving Jackson State. So I had my teammate, like an old teammate. He was already on a football team. I asked him like, get me in the door, and he did. So the only thing that kept me from being on the football team, I did not fill out my physical, and we had tryouts like during practice. And he said I was gonna play and everything, but that's the only reason. Oh yeah, and I was in a portal too, so that played a big fact. I was like, if I'm finna transfer, there's no point in me just going through all this wasting their time. So
Man,
that,
what could have been? What could have been? That's crazy. That is crazy. What like let me ask you this too then. Like what was it like on the campus at Jackson State? Because you mentioned like obviously Tioga is kind of night and day to that. Like what did you experience there for the because what you were there for just 1 year, right?
mhm.
So like what was that experience like where you're on campus and you're around your people? Like it's you're in the majority now, you know what
Man,
I'm saying? What was that like?
it's amazing, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's like a party every week, bro. Like you go there, like teachers, homecoming is a big thing at the HBCU. They cancel classes and all, and like, bro, Greek life there, that is like top notch. They take that so serious. But being around like a lot of black people, it's just a lot of love. Like everybody looking out for you. They trying to make sure you do the best you can do and make sure you own your stuff. Cause like the world look at black men like we ain't nothing. But at a HBCU, they make sure you understand that you're somebody, and you can be like at the top like everybody else. So I loved it. The only reason I didn't like about it is like the danger risk, like because it's right by the hood. You can go walk out and like you know. But I loved it. I loved it.
Now, in that year that you were there, did you feel like you got your fulfillment that you wanted? I mean, like you said, you got. Did you feel like you got every checklist off the?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely over the charts, man. I'm talking about the parties. They different. They different, bro. They different. But yeah, it was cool. It's like a bigger version of high school though. Everybody know everybody.
That's
So
cool, man.
that was good about that.
Oh, that's cool, man. I never went to I actually went to a small Christian college, so I mean I didn't know anything. I went to LC, so I didn't know anything about experiencing it. But I've been around a lot of people that went to HBCUs and they say like it is different, like it's something. It's, boy, how big is Benedict? Why you saying all of that, bro? What are you talking about?
It's a square. Bro. It's a square.
Yeah, exactly. So y'all had no choice but to know everybody. Um, you talked about entering the portal and taking your talents to Mississippi State. Talk to us about like what that process looked like, because out of high school, your recruiting is kind of what you can do for the program, but
hmm
then when you're coming as an already proven athlete in college, it's more of what can you do for me? How can you elevate my skills? So like, what was that like, and then what kind of ultimately led you choosing Mississippi State?
Okay, so the thing between a HBCU and a D1 school, like a D1 school, they want to like already, what can I say? They want to already develop athlete. And at HBCU, they'll give a chance on you. So me understanding that, like while I was in the portal, that was a big thing because my coach back at Jackson State, his name Coach Country, he told me that it's not 100% chance that I'll get out the portal. Like committing to Jackson State and like trying to transfer to a bigger school, the biggest question that coaches want to know out of a transfer portal in college is why are you leaving? And like you have to be straight up. Like don't bash no institution, no matter how bad they did you, because they're gonna look at you and say, what if I do one mistake? Are you gonna bash my institution, put a bad name on me? But the biggest thing is, bro, like they looked down on me after that. Cause I said I was gonna stay all 4 years. And it was just some of the love is still the same, but most of it just changed. Cause like they looked at it as a backdoor. Like I let them down after I transferred. Cause I didn't feel like I could grow even more there. Like I broke their freshman record. I got their high jump record. And like I wanted to run at Jackson State. And that's one thing they didn't allow me to do. So I just feel like I wasn't getting like 100%. out of my experience if you don't let me do what I was trying to do. So that's another reason why I left. But transferring to Mississippi State, the coaches showed me love. They like I never thought about going pro until I came over here. They was like showing me like accolades. Their high jump record over here is 7.6, and like there's motivation. That's a hard number to get, and you know they just kept it real with me. They kept it real. They give you a chance to prove yourself in any other event if you want to change your event. And most thing like they care about over here is academics, getting your degree. So they want to see you as a better man, not only like in sports but like in life. So it's a lot of life lessons over here too.
Now
So you
again,
kind of looked at it. My bad. E, like, so you kind of looked at it as like when you got there to Jackson State that it was a ceiling that was so reachable that it was like I don't have anything else to clear. Is that kind of how you felt, and that's why you wanted to move up?
Correct.
I got you. Makes sense. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't think about that because like y'all have a much different window than what was in years past, because now if you do hit that ceiling, if that was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, you're just gonna have to figure it out, because if you'd have transferred somewhere else, you'd have been ineligible, you'd have to sit out for a year, all those things like that. Now y'all have the room to say, all right, I've proven myself, let me go somewhere and prove myself again, and then whole new opportunities start to open up.
getting back to that, what are you running now over at Mississippi State? I know you're still jumping. Are you running too, or
The crazy thing is, I'm more of a runner than the jumper over here.
really?
Yeah, but I'm ranked number 30 or 29th right now in the 400. So that's what I'm going to regionals for. So the thing is, at conference, I sacrificed high jump because I was trying to get our 4x4 in. So I was thinking about the team more than me because I really love doing the 400. So high jump is it's too heavy on my body. Like that constant pain hitting that knee, you know? So it made it like unenjoyable. And 400, it's just cruising.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting too, because you talked about like in high school how much you loved to jump, and like you realized you were dunking and all this stuff once you got to like your sophomore year and everything. So like to look at the parallel, how would you say like running versus jumping has kind of opened up a new opportunity for you in terms of like once you get out of college, what that could do for a professional career for you?
So jumping and running. So jumping, I always thought like it's always a limit to it because you never know. Your knee can like blow out and you can never jump the same. And like I always like fear. Well, I didn't fear it. I just always thought about it in the back of my head because I seen like the injuries was starting to get constant, and I was trying to find an alternate to like better it if I can like care about my health more. But I do love like ducking. I'll never stop ducking. That's the one thing I always do. But running though, I feel like running is more easier for me because I'm 6'3". I can use my stride, and all they had to do was put speed on me. But as a career, you got to run 44 consistent 45s, and like my time's been dropping. Like when I started the 400 in college, I was running 47, and the 200 I ran 22 flat. That's very slow. Then this year I ran. Was another story behind what I just did, but I'm gonna tell you that later. But this year I ran 47, 47, 46, 46. So you kept seeing that. Then we got to indoor nationals, and that's when I ran my first 45.3. And once I seen I did that, I was like, I can really go pro in this. Even though it was in a relay and open and relays are different. Their splits are way different. There's only one true 400 and a 4x4, and that's the first leg. But a 45 is still a 45. But once I seen that, it just opened my eyes to like, if I keep putting in the work constantly, I can be a professional athlete. So yeah, it's very different.
Now getting back to it, like, do you miss high jump a little bit now that or are you content with just doing the 400 right now?
I miss high jump just a little bit. Cause I ain't gonna lie, when you get over the bar, it's just so much excitement. You just feel so relieved. But nah, I definitely love running more than the high jump. Cause you can high jump, if you like warm up wrong and your body's still cold, like you cooked. Like you can't drink no energy drink that's gonna get you up. In a 400, like you can be barely warmed up, but you can still run. Cause like it only matters. You got a whole 400 meters to run, so you can mess up and still run something fast. High jump, if you mess up one step in your approach, the whole approach off, and you gonna hit the bar or something.
How is the competition level or the intensity level in how y'all compete in track and field in the SEC? How much different is it than what you were experiencing at Jackson State and the other levels?
Bro, so how you got like rank leaders
Yeah.
in like the events. So at Jackson State, we will only go to like you will go to a high jump competition and people will jump like 6'6", 6'8". You will barely see a 7'2", 7'3". Like you'll rarely see it. And in the SEC, every meet you go to, somebody jumping 7'5", somebody's running 44, 45, somebody's running 20 point. Like it's always competition. Like you got an opportunity to shine every time. But it's less competitive in the sweat, honestly, because you don't have that many people that can do like elite stuff. So it's more undeveloped like athletes in the sweat.
Now, speaking of that, it's a different world of competition. Did you ever have a moment where it was like a welcome to the SEC moment where you like, hey, this is every day? Like, is it somebody on your team? Was it a meet that you went to? Is it a moment that you was like, yo, this is every day? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I got humbled outdoor SECs because my indoor I had got second. I was like, hold on, I can win this. Boy, I got an outdoor. He jumped 7'5". I got dead last. I'm not gonna lie. Cause I was hurt. I was hurting. That's not the excuse though. I don't got no excuse. I was hurting, but like when I see him jump that 7'5" with like ease, I was like, ah. Went from placing to no placing. I said, mm. That was my more welcome right there. I got dropped off. I'm not gonna lie. That was so
That's
bad.
that's crazy, man. What is there like a difference? Like obviously there's a difference between indoor and outdoor because of the location, but like when it comes to like preparing for it, is there anything different that you look at when you're trying to prep for an indoor versus outdoor event?
Okay, indoor. You know how like the environment control. Like you don't have to worry about weather indoor, and like it's more. I think it's more bouncier indoor. It's easier to run and jump in there. But outdoor, you got to think about the weather. You got to think about like the environment because like when we was at SWAC one time, one of these runners got hit by a hurdler. I mean like a hurdle. Like somebody was moving hurdles and he hit the hurdles because he didn't see them. But like definitely indoor, they don't let people on the track. Outdoor, you got to worry about something running, like somebody already streaking. You got to worry about the weather delays, and like it's just the only difference really. It ain't that bad.
now, with that being said, I know the guy that you talked about, off the track. You basically said you had a chance to stay and do welding and stuff like that. Mississippi State cares about you as a man after. Um, what do you want to do after this? Do you want to compete for the Olympics, or what is your major, and what do you want to do if you graduate or when you graduate with that degree?
So my major is business administration. I graduate in 2026, but I'm planning on to get my master's in this major. But I do plan on going pro in the 400. But if that doesn't work, it's a slight chance that don't work. But if that doesn't work, I'll go in like the business field, try to start my own company. And right now, I'm doing like influencer stuff on YouTube, TikTok. I'm trying to build that up. I don't mind being a social media influencer, but I'll be like more of a gym owner because I like fitness. So I'll more stay in that realm right there. If the pro don't work out.
How much different is it for y'all, especially like in this age, when it comes to like the social media aspect of things? Because everybody tries to start a YouTube channel, everybody tries to become an influencer, but because you have a different platform as an athlete, you get, I guess, a literal jump ahead of everybody else because it's like, oh, that's the guy that ran track at Mississippi State. So now you have an audience that kind of follows in behind you. How much do you think that kind of helps you in that space and business and all of those things like that?
I feel like it helps a lot because in athletics, not only you performing, you get a lot of connections. Like you never know, you can be in a class with a person or competing against a person that can be the next billionaire or millionaire. Like it's so many connections, but it helps a lot because people already know your name. You just gotta like put out content they can relate to. So that definitely helps out a lot.
Now, I know you're pretty famous on social media because of the dunk. We're gonna come to that. I'm gonna come to that dunk later. But when you do these TikToks and these NILs, do they plan this stuff for you already, or do you have to come up with your own ideas of how to sell this stuff?
So I definitely okay. So they give me like a description, but basically all the content I make is on me. I just use what they tell me. Like they tell me to put like certain stuff in the video and like key point that. But I like the creativity is up to like the person that's doing it. So you just gotta be different.
How is the NIL space in track and field, man? Like, how does that work? Is it just like the business approaches you and say, "Hey, man, I have this. I'll pay you this if you do this." Like, how does that work out?
So for NIL, I have an app called Post Game. That's for like any college athlete, any sport. But you start off on Post Game and you start doing these little deals. But the money, it's like it can range from depending on how many followers you have. But you start doing the little deals, and once you start getting like more engagement on social media from the little deals you're doing, companies will take it out their own time to email you, and like you can just respond to them. Cause like recently, this company just emailed me. It's like I don't know, it's like reaction time thingies. Cause like I'm in track, but they paid like over $1,000 for that. But when I first started, I'm not gonna lie, my NIL deal started like $25, $10, $5. You just gotta stay consistent with it. But it's not that hard. It's similar to football, but not. It's not as much as football because that's like more mainstream than track.
But going back to the gridiron, we were just talking about going back to this dunk. If you haven't seen it, it made me thought about you. I was on my phone scrolling, and I think Bleacher Report posted it the other day, or it was some outlet, and when you dunked on the kid, and it was like this guy got hops or whatever. What happened in that moment? Like what happened? Like was it as a planned, or was he talking junk to you? Like what happened when you dunked on that kid?
So I ain't gonna lie. I used to have a lot of time at Jackson State. Like, it's only 2 hours away from Louisiana. Had a lot of time to travel. Man, we went to the gym, me and my partners. We went to the gym just trolling. Dude tried to dunk on me. I'm like, hold on, you tried to dunk on me? Me? Out of all people, me? He tried to catch three of us in the rim. I said, all right, bet. So we finished playing the game. We wanted a little scrimmage. I was like, you think I could dunk on you? But like the dude was like 6'4". I was only 6'2" at the time. I was like, you think I could dunk on you? He said, nah, you too little. I said, all right, bet. He didn't know I was like a track athlete. All right, bet. My adrenaline got so high, I almost jumped from the free throw line. Next thing you know, the rest is history. Caught him.
Oh man, was it a one hand dunk? Because I ain't seen the video yet. Was it one hand? You two hand? How you did it?
On one hand, cocked back. It was like a tomahawk.
Fitz, it was bad, Fitz.
You put him on a poster?
Oh, it was bad, Fitz.
Golly.
He failed.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. It was bad, Fitz.
Brother, whoever you are out there, look, we ain't got no beef with you. We just talking about the clip, man. Because golly, that I know that's tough. I know that's crazy.
The most like the shocking thing is I'm a 2-foot jumper, not one.
Yeah.
So me jumping from 2 feet that far was like impressive. I shot myself. I ain't gonna lie.
So I didn't know I could do that. Hold up. As you've continued to pursue your career on the track, man, like who has been somebody that you can look at as for like inspiration, whether that's a professional athlete, whether that's one of your own teammates, somebody in your family, who's somebody that you look to and say like, man, a lot of what they do, I like the way that they approach what they're doing, and if I can do some of those things, I could be in those same shoes.
So, okay, I'm gonna start off with my rock, my mama. Cause like I grew up with my mama, and I seen like all the trials and tribulations she went through, and just get this far, to see that makes her happy. It does something to me. And my little sisters and my pops, like I do all this stuff for my siblings. And another inspiration is our Olympian. His name Marco. Marco, Isaiah, our coaches, my teammates. I ain't gonna lie, they all motivate me. But like seeing them do this, and like the Olympians especially, they be like at practice grinding chasing the lactic, chasing the hurt. It just like I don't know. It do something to my spirit, man. It make me happy, bro. Like this is like financial freedom right here. That's one of my biggest goals, financial freedom. And this is like you got to choose your heart. It's hard to be, poor. It's hard to be wealthy. You just got to choose your heart. And like surrounding yourself around greatness all the time and people that actually support you, it'll take you a long way.
And one of the people that you just talked about your mom, and you said she had a D1 offer. How special was she as an athlete? What stories did you hear about her as a kid coming up?
Man, my mama said she was a sharpshooter, but I couldn't shoot for nothing. She was like, the one thing I did get from her is like the defense. She was like top MVP for defense and offense. Like she was a scorer, man. She was dropping like 24 every game, back to back. Looking at me, I'm like, why I can't shoot? But no, she was a cold athlete. I didn't know. She told me one time that she did the multis in track. I did not know that, and that shocked me. But no, my mom was cold in basketball.
That's what's up, man. That's cool. That's cool. Um, this week you got coming up, because we'll probably drop this episode will probably be dropping on Monday. So this week you got the East Regional coming up out there in Jacksonville, Florida. What do you kind of expect out of how you believe you'll be able to compete, and what goals do you have set when you're going out there?
Okay, my goals are to make it out of finals and go to nationals and run 45. My expectation, I expect myself to run 45 mid, like 45.5, 45.7. And like, I just want to prove to myself, prove to my coaches that not only I can jump, but I can also run on like a high stage level. So that's my expectation, just to go out there, go to finals and make it to nationals.
Now, will this be your first ever nationals if you make it?
For like a runner,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for running, yeah. I made the nationals in jumping my freshman year. But yeah, this would be first. That's really shocking though. I never thought like my first indoor nationals was for running too. I never thought that would happen.
Okay.
What was that moment like when you got to be there? Like you already talk about being around elite athletes in the SEC, but now at the Nationals, it's like the top of the top. These the gold jacket type of people competing out there. Like, what was that like for you?
I'm not gonna lie, man. It was emotional. I almost teared up. I'm not gonna lie, cause I've been trying to get into indoor nationals for the longest, and just seeing that, cause it's like the top elite. I get a chance to like perform again, and everybody already doubted me, cause like I'm a high jumper on the 4x4 relay. You would never thought, like I can't be that fast. And like when I seen like the excitement on my coach's face once I crossed the line, it was just, bro, it was crazy. Like, I got a whole video. I jumped in the ocean that night. At Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was cold.
But getting back to that, like as a track athlete, break this down to me because you always want to go for the record, right?
Mhm.
But your personal best is like one of the things that you aim for too. Is it something that you always aim for, like your personal best, your personal best, your personal best, and then when you see that record coming, is that when you say, "Hey, I want to grab that record," or you always already aiming for that record?
So me being different from most athletes, like mentally, every time I go to the meet, yes, the goal is to get a personal best, but I'm trying to like focus on the little things first. Like, what can I do to better myself? So when I do get the chance to like run at these big meets where everybody's watching, I can run a personal best or a world record there. I don't necessarily try to PR like at the little meets. Like, yeah, you in the beginning of the season, you might roll with me, but I promise you, when the time comes, when the camera and lights and everybody's watching, you're not finna embarrass me. I'm definitely gonna be a top. So I try to like focus on like little progressions at the minor meets. Then when I get to like the national meets, that's when I'm focused on the personal best.
what's some advice that you would give to whether that's a kid that's at Tioga High School right now or just any track athlete that's looking at this video, um, and will get to this point and say like, what advice would you give to them about trying to get where you are and being great?
My advice is to the youth is, man, every day not gonna be your best day. No matter what, I don't care how you feel. If you're tired, if you're sad emotionally, bro, put your 100% in every day. It's not gonna feel like it, but trust me, you're gonna get better. And like, do the little things that nobody else does. Like, drink water in the morning, stretch, be very spiritual, and take care of your body because that's your biggest gift is having a body and waking up every day. So do everything the normal doesn't do. That's my biggest advice.
All right, then my one of my I got a couple more, but you was talking about it earlier, financial freedom. They don't really teach us that in our culture. How to be responsible financially. What can you say you have learned through the NIL process and what you know now about business and things of that nature for your major that you can try to teach to the community?
So being a business major at a HBCU, I'm not gonna lie, they do like very great on the accounting aspect. They taught me how to be an accountant, so I know how to like chart my finances every month. Then transferring to a SEC school, I learned how to do taxes. They taught me how to like they coached me how to like manage my money and like spend a certain amount every month and put some away. So basically, they teach you how to manage your money, invest your money, and like put it away. So it's like discipline. They teach you discipline over here. So like financial freedom can be anything for anybody. It can be like 50K to somebody. It can be 100K. It just depends. Like me personally, I want to wake up on my own time, enjoy my life, and like have a business to where I can manage on my own personal time. Like it's my schedule. So that's financial freedom for me. It can be anything for anybody.
When did you realize that that was something important to you? Like a lot of people say, like they're driven in life for this reason or that reason. When did you realize, like, man, being financially free is something that I'm working towards as a goal?
My freshman year at Jackson State because I had to take out a student loan over $5,000, and like me at the time, I did not have that in my bank account. I wasn't making that much money. So being in that mindset, it brought a lot of depression. And like my mom always told me it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Once you get to this new school, you'll be able to like pay it off and have much more. So basically, being in that environment, seeing a lot of poverty, like you know, watching that surroundings, growing up, seeing like all that happening. So that really like changed my mindset of being successful and being like having a lot of money to like support the needs of your young ones, so they won't have to go to nobody and ask for a handout. So that was drove me.
How did like the NIL space help introduce you to being a part of being financially free? Because you talk about taking out a $5,000 loan, and then you also just talked about earlier, doing a deal with a company where they paid you over $1,000. Well, that can doing things like that can help keep you away from that debt that you accumulate. How did that kind of open up that space? Because me and E talk about this all the time of how like some of the NIL you get won't be like life changing money, but it can be situational changing money. So how have you seen that, come to fruition in your life?
NIL, it's an opportunity to like to present yourself, like show this company why they should invest all their money into you. And like I'm not gonna lie, this past summer I used NIL to pay off my my apartment rent, and my apartment rent like 700 to 1,000, and I locked in like for a couple months and made all that up with like little NILs back to back. But it helps you because it teaches you how to present yourself and promote yourself. It teaches you the aspect of some businesses. Like it teaches you a lot. So it's good, great.
Yeah, then dude, first of all, I'm proud of you, bro. I know we had many conversations off this. We talked a couple of times about you coming from Jackson State and when you hit the portal and stuff like that. But out of the schools, why did you decide to stay in Mississippi, man? Did you have other options out there? Whether if it was more money for NIL, did you have other options before you decided you want to stay in Mississippi?
Why did I choose to stay in Mississippi? That's a big question. I love Houston. I'm not gonna lie. I had an offer from Houston. I wanted to take it so bad, but Mississippi State, it's just the people here, the culture. Like you think if you come to Mississippi State, it'll be racist. Like when I first got to the hotel, it was a white woman. And she like showed me love so much. Like she said, "We want you here." So the school really care about their athletes. Like they invest into the athlete program. The donors, they all like care about you, because like one thing is being an athlete. Yeah, you got privilege, and some people like think that's bad for most athletes, but they actually like take care of you over here. So it was just a southern hospitality, and like they make sure you fed, they make sure your body good. If you ever need something, they give it to you. They got great education. It's a lot of opportunities over here. So that's why I stayed in Mississippi. And it's not that far from home.
I got you, man. My last question to you, if this is your like sports center moment and people are looking back at the career of Sherman Hawkins Jr. at Mississippi State, because obviously you still have more ahead of you in a professional sense, and they're looking at your tenure there with the Bulldogs, what do you want people to say about your legacy as a track athlete?
I want them to say that I was a God fearing, humble man, always looking to help people in need. And like he can jump. His name Hawk for a reason.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah, I
like
just
that.
want them to look at me as a humble, God fearing man that's always looking to help anybody whenever they need it.
And then my last question to you, man. First and foremost, we want to say thank you for hopping on this pod, man. We really appreciate you taking the time out. If you can get anybody on this podcast to talk about the same stuff you talked about, their journey and stuff like that, whether if it's at Mississippi State or at Houston, whoever you know, um, who would you recommend to us? And whoever you say, you got to help us get them up.
Mm. My homeboy, he's a high jumper at Houston. His name is Teray. Y'all should get him on here. I feel like he got a great story because he went through
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. Say less. Let's
All
set
right.
it up. Remember, he
Yeah,
said you got to help him get us.
I'm
I
giving
got
you.
y'all. I got y'all.
So man. Awesome, man. Well, Sherm, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you for coming on to the show. And good luck to you at regionals, man. And then we'll be expecting to see you at nationals too.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
No doubt. No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Sherman Hawkins Jr., sprinter and hurdler at Mississippi State, as he is preparing for his journey to go to the NCAA East Regional coming up this week. And that's our first track athlete, man. That's
I know, man.
that's
I'm
history.
proud of that, bro. I'm proud of that, bro. We didn't have. I mean, we dibble dabble in a lot of different sports. I mean, we still looking for swimmers. Like, give me a swimmer in there. But for us to get some track, I like that because it shows how diverse. But all athletes are the same. Like, they all going for the one goal to be the best. So it's pretty cool to do that, man.
No doubt about it. Well, that is going to wrap up yet another episode of the Fitz Take Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it to this point and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit the bell down below and subscribe to the channel. We would greatly appreciate that. If you're listening to this episode, please give us a follow, whether that is Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. And also follow myself, Elijah, and my production company, ONEWAY Productions, on social media, and also us, the Fitz Take Podcast, on social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description of this video. Signing out for Elijah Nixon, I'm Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. We'll see you guys next time.